Live. Hello. There we go. We got it. And it looks like everything's working. Hello. Nope, you don't get to go. I got the puppy back. He has to stay down here with me. Otherwise, he's going to go run around, be crazy, and distract me from all the things. Oh, he might go distract me from all the things. Of course. Well, hello. Welcome. We are live. And today we are talking all about how to take the first steps when it comes to decluttering. I am so excited about this topic because I feel that, when it comes to like actually removing things from your home and really like getting yourself started on the organizing process, there are some things that like we just don't think about, or we're in the middle of it and we get super overwhelmed. So that is what this entire mini season podcast series is about, is how to overcome the overwhelm that comes with organizing. Excuse me. So we are going to be talking about taking first steps. The podcast episode was all about procrastination. Oh my God, another P word. So many P words. It's been a week. If anyone else feels like May is the same as December, then let me know, because that's honestly where my mind is. So if you follow along on social media, I have shared a little bit. My daughter does competitive dance. And with that competitive dance, we have so much going on in May that the moms were texting, and we were saying it is May-cember, which I feel like is like the new term, that May, December it's real. It's a thing. So, yeah. With all of that, if you're like, oh my gosh, my kids are going to be home from school, or I am ready to, declutter. I'm going to declutter my house this morning, or tomorrow, this weekend, maybe for Mother's Day. That's like what you want. You want your house organized, like for real, but you're super overwhelmed with like where to start and what to do. Then these couple ideas are really going to help you figure out how to start, how to take action, and not get overwhelmed by procrastination and just like holding it off. So the first thing we're going to talk about is creating a sorting system. I love this whole concept. I have no idea who shared it, or if I like dreamed it up. I don't know. I think I talked about it in my book. I don't know. For some reason, I've had this in my head for a very long time, sorting systems. And with the sorting systems, you want to create what you're going to do. So it depends on the space that you're going to do. It also depends on your mindset. Are you going to declutter, or are you going to sell your things? Because that also goes into your sorting system. Because are you going to donate, sell, trash, keep? Maybe, like, are you going to have 5 piles? Are you going to have 3 piles? Are you going to go through your piles a few times? Are you going to go through your piles just one time? Are you going to touch the thing one time and then be done? Are you going to create a maybe pile and then sort through the maybe pile later? Are you just not even in the mood to sell? So that's just not even a pile. Are you mostly focusing on selling? What is your strategy? What are you going to do? And this piece, I feel like a lot of people fall into the weird idea that you have to like put all of the piles in a space for a room. Not everything needs to be sold. Not everything needs to be donated. Some things could be gifted. Like, that is a pile you can create. So, as you kind of create your sorting systems. And by doing that, it's going to make things easier for you to like kind of group all of those items together. I personally like it because I think it's a great visual reminder, um, of the stuff that you have and the piles of things and like where they're gonna go. So figure out what sorting system you are going to use is number 1, like first thing you have to do. When you overcome that, then you're like, "Oh, okay, like I can get Post-it notes. I can use, cute labels. Like I can do the next step, which is setting up those sorting systems." So, taking this first small piece of action will really help overcome procrastination. Oh my gosh, my throat is dry. Where we live, it like got really warm and now it's cool again. And so it's playing with my throat. So I apologize if I sound kind of like raspy. Um, so the next thing is setting up the room's purpose. So you've created your sorting system and then you've taken action to like set that up. Next thing you're going to do, what is the purpose of this room? What like, how do you want to use the space? If it's your closet, do you want to be able to like see your clothes more? If it's your kitchen, do you want to not have to like sift through things, get your hand cut by like a peeler or something? Um, what like how do you envision that space? So if you downloaded my free Minimize and Simplify workbook, walk through that as well. You can get that where you're watching this video. Um, I walk you through kind of like that mental piece that sometimes we forget. Um, like why are we decluttering this space? Why are we reorganizing it? Like what is the purpose of that? And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our declutter caddy. I've talked about declutter caddies. I'm a huge fan of declutter caddies. Um, I think they help reduce the like, I don't know, like the distraction that comes with decluttering. So a declutter caddy is everything in one container that you need. So you can either like make it before you start, you can keep it if you know you have multiple declutter projects. Back when I was doing in-home organizing, this was basically my organizing bag. Like I brought my organizing bag with me and that was my declutter caddy. And so you can create one as well. You just need specific items that you use while you declutter. There are so many, and I could create a giant list, which I have, and I have like a declutter caddy toolkit kind of guide so you can set it up with all of the like documents that I like to keep in because I like declutter questions. I like having sorting cards. Those sorting cards are what just automatically do. I set them up before I even start anything. So that's how I create my system is using the cards that come in the declutter caddy toolkit. And you put all the stuff in like a caddy, whatever, so you can carry it around. And then you have everything you need: the cleaning supplies, the phone charger, the Post-it notes, Sharpies, scissors, Gooby Gone, a hair dryer if you like have to remove stickers from things. Hair dryer on stickers works wonders. When we were selling our house, my son decided he thought it'd be a great idea to stick stickers all over his door. Loved it. It was super fun, but our realtor came through and was like, "These all have to go." So I'm sitting there with a blow dryer, and that works like a travel blow dryer in your declutter caddy. Game changer when it comes to stickers. And then also declutter questions. If you were following along on our lives, I think it was like the first or second live talked about declutter questions. I have them for free. They also come included with like more detail in the Declutter Caddy toolkit if that's something that interests you or piques your intrigue. Head below and you can see more, learn more about like a declutter caddy. I also have videos on like how to create your own too. Some people like to just throw things together. Some people need the structure. I'm going to be totally honest. I need the structure. When this is like such a funny random off topic story, but when I after I had my son and I was like packing my diaper bag, I'm like, what do I pack in here? I need a list. I need all the steps. I could not for the life of me think of the things I needed in a diaper bag. So I created, like, I searched the internet. I wrote down all these things people would recommend and then cross off things that I'm like, no, we don't use that or whatever. And so then I created this giant checklist for myself. And that's basically what the Declutter Caddy toolkit is. It's my checklist for my Declutter Caddy and what I would recommend to anyone looking to create a Declutter Caddy as well. And then create an action plan. And that action plan is just what are you going to do? By doing all like one step at a time, you are taking action and you are starting the process to overcome that procrastination because procrastination is well, it's viewed differently by different people. To me, having read a ton of research on procrastination, laziness, like how the brain works, excuse me, I feel procrastination has nothing to do with you being lazy and everything to do with your brain on overwhelm, and it is on like max capacity. So if you think about it, like we're not like young sprung chickens anymore. We're kind of, we're adults now. Like kind of once you hit like 16, 17, 18, your brain can only hold so much information that's been shoved in there. So you have a lot of tabs open in your brain. And when you have too many tabs open and you aren't closing them, like on a computer, it overheats, it overworks, and then just shuts down. To me, that's what procrastination is. Your brain just is literally like, too much. I can't take it anymore. So I'm just not going to do anything. So that's why procrastination to me sounds like that. Like we have too many tabs open. So, see, I told you it's dry here. Um, so when we start to close down some of those tabs by taking action on like small things. Okay, we're going to create a sorting system. This is my step today, and this is what I'm going to do. Well, now your brain's like, oh, okay. Okay, we have an action plan. I know we created this. So now I know next step is this. Next step is this. That's why just taking small actionable steps is going to close tabs in your brain on this particular topic. And when you start to do that, it's going to start to like calm itself down in the area that you're working with. So it's going to calm you down on organizing, on decluttering. It will make you like start taking some more action on things because it's not going to feel overworked. It's going to feel like calmer. Just there we go. So those are my strategies. I have the free workbook. I also have a challenge that is starting on Tuesday if you want. It's called the Declutter Dash Challenge. We're going to go way more in depth on this. If you are interested, the link is below. Sign up. It is going to be so much fun. We're going to declutter and it's completely free. I thought it'd be a fun way for a community to kind of like get organized and declutter before summer because you don't really want to be inside. Well, here in the Midwest, I'm going to say here in the Midwest, you don't really want to be inside. If you're in like warm weather, you probably will be inside because it's going to be hot. So join the challenge. It's going to be really fun. And everything is going to be small, actionable steps. You can totally do it. And I hope to see you there. So I have quite a few questions from email subscribers and on the podcast. You can also answer a question, ask a question, take a poll. So where you're listening to it on Spotify, it's specifically on Spotify, but you can always email me and like ask a question and we can chat about it live. So the first question I got, I think is so timely. Also, it kind of has to do with some social media posts I posted about bins and baskets. So the question is, do I need to buy bins and baskets before I start organizing? And that was followed by the investment is really intense. Do you have any suggestions for cheaper bins and baskets? So I actually have an entire podcast episode on bins and baskets, and I don't think they're necessary to start organizing. I think, okay, I'm going to say some controversial stuff now. Like, I think that the organizing influencer world has gotten a little out of control and that you don't need bins and baskets in order to be organized. You can use what you have. You don't need new things. You don't need clear bins. Um, they might help you. And if they do, then do that. But there is a group of people that it works for. And then there's a large group of people that end up wasting money on expensive bins and baskets, and they're not organized because that's not realistic. That's not something that really is, I mean, honestly, that's really not something you need in order to be organized. Um, in the world of organizing, back in 2013, that was not a thing, just so you know. Back in the world of organizing, like 2009, that was not a thing. Bins and baskets were a tool. They were not where you start. So if anyone comes to you and says, "Oh, we need bins and baskets, and here you go," um, I would question it. I would question why. Um, there was somebody I saw on TikTok that shared her experience about spending a lot of money on someone who called themselves a professional organizer. Check check their credentials, because guess what? There are credentials for professional organizers, just like there are for any other profession. Interior design versus, other things are very different. So she went to, she shared her experience about how she worked with a quote unquote professional organizer who said she needed to buy all these bins and baskets. Her and her husband spent close to $10,000 for them basically to put things into piles and say, put the toys away. And this is not the first case I've seen. When I was doing in-home organizing, I saw it a lot. A lot. People would have me come out because they're like, I hired this person to come out and they rainbow organized stuff and it's not organized. It's just rainbow colored. And guess what? That doesn't work for everyone. So you don't need bins or baskets. Told you I was going to be controversial. I know that there are popular home influencers out there who love sharing Amazon finds, who love sharing these things, and they are lovely to watch. Totally. Watch them, consume that content. That totally works, but you don't need to buy it unless you've already removed the clutter that you aren't using in your space, unless you truly find that product useful and you have like a plan for how you're going to maintain what you just did. I think that's the third piece that everyone kind of needs. My next question I got was, what should I do after I make all the piles? I always feel like I make a mess and can't get things going again. I've seen that a lot. So once you get the pile started, right? So you created your system for sorting. You are figuring out like how you're going to sort and then you sort. And now you have all of these piles sitting in a mess on the floor of your room and you are overwhelmed because you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? Everything was put away and it was like fine. And it was like behind doors and or in cabinet, whatever. And now I see everything. And now my brain and all the tabs are like, ah. So what do I do? What you do is you start, remove the trash, remove the donate, remove the sell, remove the gift. Only keep the items that stay in the room in the room. That's it. After that, you're going to start putting away those items. Don't worry, just put the trash, donate all the other things outside of the door of the room, close the door, and then just focus on what is in the room. Don't let your brain go like wherever else. Just focus on what's in the room. Put that back. Once that is done, we can worry about the stuff outside, but only focus on the stuff in the room at the moment, because then your brain is going to calm down and it's going to like feel like you're closing tabs as you start putting away the things that are left that you want to keep. So start there. And then once that's done, then you can take the trash out. Then you can take all the stuff to donate, put in the trunk of your car, and like actually go donate it. All the stuff you're going to sell, that will be the last thing I would suggest doing, is lining it up, taking the pictures and selling all of the things. And then by doing that, now your brain has a plan. Your brain can reduce the overwhelm, the procrastination, the like stress, strain it's putting itself through, simply because it sees all the stuff. And in order for your brain to make sense of anything, it needs to create a story. And so for it to create that story, that is what you have to do, is give it a story to tell. And that story is, I'm going to take all of this stuff that I'm not keeping and it's out of the room. So now my next story is, where are these things going? And then put those things away and find homes for all of those things. And then I will take action on the next thing. And then finally, the last question that I got, this one was podcast. So what do you do with an overly cluttered room? Great question, because our topic for the mini series on the podcast is all about organizing overwhelms. I thought this one was so timely. So make sure to check out Organizing Tune-Ups. You can listen to it anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And so this question, what to do with overly cluttered rooms, like just I'm getting the impression this listener, probably a she, because most of my listeners are she, probably has a space that they have not yet organized or tackled. I typically see this a lot in storage rooms, because that's just kind of where things go to die. So when you have an overly cluttered room, I would use timers. We had a whole episode on using timer tasks to complete declutter projects. So any cluttered room, I would simply start with a timer, set a timer for yourself, and then you will set it for 15 minutes. And then your focus is on things that don't need to stay in the room. So then just get a garbage bag or two, like one could be donate, one could be garbage, and just go through it until the timer runs out, and then give yourself a break. Plan that break ahead of time so that it's not so that then you don't have to think about like what is next, or like, oh, what should it be? Like your brain will thank you when you already have your next step. Like, okay, I have 15 minutes and then it's lunchtime. I have 15 minutes and then I have to hop on a call for work. I have 15 minutes and then I'm going to take the dog for a walk. Whatever it may be, set that up. And then you can come back and like do another 15 minutes and then take another break, do something, that kind of thing. Because when rooms are overly cluttered, again, your brain needs to make sense of all of this. Like all organizing is giving your brain a story to tell itself about things. That's basically the foundation of life. Like your brain needs a story to tell itself. That's how it is. That's how people like function. You have to tell yourself a story. That's why like your nervous system can go into like high alert, because it's telling itself a story about like, a saber-toothed tiger running after it. Cause like, that's how we are. That's how our bodies work. They just need to tell itself a story. The same goes for organizing. It's the same. You just have to tell yourself a story in order for you to get from here to here and it all to make sense. So that story is, I have 15 minutes and we're going to organize. We're going to just remove things I don't use, I don't like, that are broken, whatever. I'm going to put it in the bag, and then I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to come back and do this again. And then by slowly chipping away at a cluttered space, it's going to help immensely just kind of like tackle that project slowly. But if you're consistent, even if it's like, okay, for the next month, for 15 minutes, I'm going to tackle the storage room. I'm going to tackle this cluttered room. You will see the progress because you're doing it. Now, we also talked about different ways in which to like habit track. And I would definitely recommend doing habit tracking, task timers, and um, uh, like focusing on like one particular thing per space. That way you are able to kind of like work through the room, work through the space. And then also like the last piece is ask for help. So NAPO, the National Association of Organizing and Productivity Specialists, actually have certification programs. People actually take classes on how to organize and how to work with people. I co-taught a class on how to use executive functioning skills for children because that's my background. It is in education and special education. So that realm is my expertise. You have people with backgrounds and legit certifications training the organizers that are NAPO certified or even NAPO organizers because they have different like levels. Kind of like hairdressers, people that are like newer are kind of like on this level. And then the more experience you have, the more you move up based on that kind of thing. KonMari, Marie Kondo has a very specific way in which she certifies her organizers. There are standards for organizers, and I really want you to find those organizers that meet those standards, that actually have a proven track record and have certification to back it up. Because just like with anything else, anyone can say they're anything, but in the grand scheme of things, if you don't have training in it in some way, shape, or form, you are going to end up like that girl that I saw on TikTok. And my heart broke for her because that is the worst thing anyone that can happen. I hate when people are scammed out of money. Like it bothers me a lot. So I don't want that to happen to you. So if you ask for help, I would look on sites like NAPO, like KonMari, like what's another one? Those are the two. I'm still am NAPO. And I have friends and stuff that are KonMari, so I know those programmings really well. But I know that there are other certifications out there. Just make sure they have training and they aren't just somebody that's like, I'm an organized person. So that is like my 2 cents. That is my rant. And those are my controversial thoughts in the realm of organizing. Did not expect to get there today, but here we are. So if you want more of my controversial organizing advice, make sure to like and subscribe. And also, I will see you next Friday. We are talking about something, I don't know what. Honestly, if I don't have my schedule in front of me and like Friday afternoon, I forget. That's just, that's life now. It's Maycember. So let's go celebrate by enjoying sunshine. And if you are in the Midwest, apparently there is going to be a possibility. Well, if you're up north, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming there's going to be like Northern Lights. We might go like check them out up north a little bit, like maybe a half an hour from where we live. We could see Northern Lights. So if we do, I am definitely posting on social media because that is pretty cool. I've seen it one time. They are beautiful. So yeah, another random tangent on this live because why not? So I will see you all next week. You'll find out the topic. If you want to make sure you never miss a live, sign up for my email list. I send out Friday recaps of like all the things that happened along with the topic, the time, and the link to the lives on Fridays. So I will see you all next week. Bye. There we go.